Here's my brand new project, a squirrel feeder. Strange I'd build that after building a bird-proofed bird feeder, but my daughter felt so guilty, or made me feel so guilty for keeping the squirrels out of the bird feeders. She started feeding them around back, and so I didn't like them near the house, so I built this bird feeder. We can still see it from the back window, and I think it looks kind of stylish, and small amount of feed that we'll put in the trough here that it won't be breaking the bank to keep them fed. Come along and keep watching, and if you'd like to see how I built kept the squirrels out of the bird feeder, you can watch the video. Link will be up above. The idea with the bird feeder is there's a trough here to put feed or nuts. A couple of chairs to enjoy themselves as they sit on the bar. I have these two pieces of 2x6 scrap that are left over from one of the projects that are just cut at 45 degrees at the top. They're 1 foot high, and of course they're 5.5 inches wide, which makes the total width across here 11 inches. Just going to glue these up. It needs to be the back. You could use thinner wood, and just like I say, I have these and don't have another use for them. I'm going to use Type Bond 3. It's a waterproof glue for outdoor use. There are those that don't particularly like this type of glue, so they've had bad luck, but I've been okay with it. And it's brown, so it'll match the cedar a little better. Going to measure down here from the edge 1 3/4 inches. I could just draw a line across here with a pencil. My concern is then I'd have to sand that off. Just going to use this tape as a reference line. I'm going to put some letters across here. And the tape actually is a little thicker, so it'll actually be easier to place the letters on. I got these letters at one of the local dollar type stores, and I was going to make them, and it's just saved so much time, and for such little price it just didn't make any sense to have to make them. You see here how the tape, I can don't have to spend a lot of time lining these up on a line, but then putting the tape here, it just snaps right to the tape. This is a cedar fence board. Comes in about a 5-foot length. It's 5 1/4, approximately inches wide, 5 1/4, 5 1/2. Use this for the top and the bottom. I'm just noticing I was going to measure across here to cut a piece for a shelf or for a stand, and it's only about 10 3/4. Normal 2x6 is 5 1/2, but these are only 5 3/8. So sometimes it's good just to not assume anything and measure. I just ripped down some cedar. It's almost not quite 1/4 inch. I cut the ends at a 10-degree angle. Did that on both ends, and then I'm going to cut them for length from the short end. I'm using this old cutout here instead of a sink that I cut for my kitchen counter. If you've not seen me use this before, it's melamine, so the glue doesn't stick. Plus, for small stuff like this, where my workbenches are getting so full, I've got about 3 or 4 different projects on the go at once. But I can glue up small pieces like this, or relatively small pieces, and glue them up, and then move the whole thing somewhere else so it doesn't tie up my workbench or anything else.
I took that's where the seed's going to go. I took that out of the clamps. And just hold this up to get an idea the height that I would like it to go. Glue in here. I've already measured about 2 3/4 inch to the bottom. I'll glue this on, but first, this piece that I routed, I'm going to cut these into about 1/2 inch strips. I trimmed this off with the bandsaw just to get the right height and thickness that I want. And I'll put a couple of these underneath, one on each end and one in the middle here to support this trough. So I just took this piece that I had routed with there, and I cut off 3 pieces here. 2 are about, I was originally going to go and cut them 1/2 inch, but after I cut that, looked a little thin. So 2 are about 3/4 inch, and this one's about 1/2 inch. The half is 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch I'll put in the center, and the 2 larger ones I'll put here on the outside, and that'll be used to support the trough. You can see it looks like a nice little bracket. I took the pieces that I had cut the router in, and I actually routed the other 4 sides, and didn't come out very symmetrical as I wanted it to, but it's kind of a unique design, and it's better than just putting a square block. And I was, with 60 grit sandpaper, it's just going to be outside, squirrel feeder, I rounded off the top and bottom of these circles I did with the cutters, and I'm just going to use these to put a couple of little seats at the bar for the squirrel. I'll glue those in place, and then all that's left is to put a roof over here, and I'll be done. I have end grain here, so need to use a lot of glue. Put on, it's going to soak in. And I'm going to put a few 1-inch nails from the nail gun, not very long, but hold it in place until the glue sets. Take these clamps off the glue set, be ready to put outside.
Everybody enjoyed this video.
I know the squirrel did. And if you did, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. It really means the world to me as a small channel. I hope everybody's safe, and until the next video, this is Dom. Take care.